Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Throwing Salt. This episode is going to be a little bit eye-opening for me, and going to speak to some transparent moments that are really in my life or for me to tell you guys about. Have you ever found yourself being like just way too busy to the point where you miss like really monumental moments? Yeah, I found myself there too. And so there's a remedy for that. And today on Throwing Salt, we're going to talk about that. All right. If you are ready, come on with me to the pod. Bye. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Throwing Salt. I'm Ashley and
I'm Jamal.
Same name since last week. I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, we're not going to go by your middle name.
Please don't.
Oh, but it means something.
I know, but we're not going to put that out there.
I mean, you said this season we're being transparent. They gotta go look at. They gotta go find something.
Yeah, go to case searches and see.
Go to case searches. You got some on there?
No.
Oh, okay. I probably got one.
Probably a ticket.
Yeah, that's mine. Is there anything else?
Cut. Cut. Get that cut. Shoot, I'm gonna be getting letters and all that in the mail. Cut. Shoot.
Welcome, everybody.
If you work for the MVA.
See? Yeah.
Act like you don't know that.
But it's public record. We can see it.
That's true.
Yeah, so don't try to hide. So put your Dillons up.
I got you.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back to the pod. Come on in. Have a seat. We're glad you're here.
Yes.
We love you.
Yes.
And we're glad that you're here today. How was your week?
It was good. Really
What'd you
good. Worked.
Hey, that's so befitting because this episode is going to probably be talking about something around that space.
That's true.
So it's about to be crazy.
Yeah.
So anything happen exciting at work?
Nah, I had to do an overnight shift. That was great.
Huh.
Very interesting. Haven't done that in a long time.
What was out at night?
Nothing but me.
Oh. Let's see. How was my week? My week was busy, of course, like always, because, you know, it's just
meeting after
life.
meeting.
Meeting after meeting.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of excited. Adam's going to school this year.
That is what's up.
Well, here's the thing. I'm calling it into existence because the thing, she has an early birthday or a late birthday. I forgot what it is. I think it's late birthday because she doesn't turn 5 until September.
Got you.
So PG, you know.
And PG fashion.
Being PG.
Yeah.
So we got to do early entrance.
Gotcha.
So we did that this week and they got the email.
Wow.
They sent us a confirmation, say we got your email.
Sarah going too.
That's going to be great.
Sheesh.
But she'll be ready. 5 though. Like she has
she's
not
ready though.
She's not ready.
She's already told me I don't want to go to school.
Oh no.
I said you didn't.
I think she likes it at home though, but she's been home the whole 5 years, hasn't she?
Home 5 years.
Tag, she's never even been in daycare.
Nope.
Privileged
kid.
See?
And the thing about it is I was like this, you know it's gonna be some rules and some structure. You know, you're gonna have to ain't gonna be watching Ryan's World. You can't do that. You gotta sit at your desk and you gotta raise your hand when you gotta do something. I don't want to do that.
See, I know.
Yeah.
That's Adeline. Although she's not an only child, she acts as if she's an only child because our kids are spaced out.
Right.
So like
right. I only
from
have one.
Adeline to Shiloh, there's like a 6-year difference.
Yes.
So she's like the baby. And it's crazy.
She definitely is the baby.
Yeah. And so me and my husband been fasting and praying.
Okay.
And just making sure that she passed this test because there's an early entrance test.
Yes.
For those of you who don't know, there's an early entrance test. So we're just praying she does well because I asked, is there going to be supervision by a parent? Me being the parent.
Yeah.
No. She goes in the door. We close the door and we test her.
Jeez.
I don't know how I feel.
How do you feel about that, though? Do you feel like you have given her all the tools that she would need to pass this test?
And all that getting.
Get understanding.
I'm still getting understanding. Because some days I just feel like,
I'm glad mine didn't have the testing.
What you trying to say? Anyway, some days I feel like she's matured. Then it be them days you just be like, you're really 4.
Oh yeah, nah. My daughter, she gives me she gives me that too.
I don't like that.
I'm like, you talk like a grown person,
right?
But your actions say that you're 5. You talk like you're 25, but you act 5.
So I don't know. I don't know how I'm feeling about it. My husband for sure, he wants it to happen.
Oh yeah,
So
because daycare bills are astronomical.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, also too, like we've been raising her in COVID, so we've been spared at least. She's 4. We've been spared at least. Okay, wait a minute. What's going on? We've been spared at least 3 of the 4 years.
Hey, that's good.
Because when she was born, we were pre-COVID.
Yeah.
Then COVID hit.
Yeah.
And she's been home for the last 3 years.
I just looking at them daycare bills, man.
It's insane. We had 3 in daycare at one time. Do you not hear what I'm saying?
Man.
It was almost if not more than our mortgage.
That is crazy.
Crazy. And then it was like, hey, we're doing a field trip, extra money. I'm like, that's not in the daycare bill?
Right.
Like, that's not, there's no subsidy.
Whoever gets in office this year, you better do something with this daycare instead of these colleges. Shoot, we got to get them started instead of how they finish. Getting sick of this now.
Listen, there's only so much YouTube she gonna watch.
Exactly.
And she know how to, it's crazy because, they know how to turn the TVs, they know how to work the phones.
Yeah.
I mean, advanced.
Yeah,
so I'm like,
advanced.
so that's the only thing where I'm
they
like,
hold real conversations like.
Oh yeah. Well, that's what I'm feeling like. I mean, you got this. Like, go in, make mama proud. Don't come out with nothing less than an A. I need a letter that says that you're ready.
Yes.
Like, that's it. That's
it.
going to be the pep talk when I go in there.
What, you gonna hold her face? Listen, this is what we work for.
You go in there, you make me proud.
You make me proud.
So yeah, so that's what we're hoping for. So why you praying?
Yeah, I got you. I keep
Lay a
her up.
fleece.
And everybody else child is testing in this
I mean,
year.
absolutely.
Everybody else child is testing it. We're gonna be praying for y'all too. Cause I know that daycare bill, you trying to release it.
I know. And then they say we can't do pre-K because we make too much. I mean, you literally got to make $1. So that's all I'm saying. I'm like, it's like the price of gas and groceries. That ain't enough. I got 3.
And see, and that's the thing about sin.
So disrespectful
right?
for my
sin,
money.
It makes you want to do it when you see it. Like, I'm needing to give me some forged documentation out there. Shoot,
but it's the Holy Ghost that's on the inside.
But the Lord always
And
makes
he
a way.
prevails.
He always makes a way though. So that's why we don't have to do that.
But the thing is that she's growing, and a lot of the times I feel like I'm missing stuff because we be busy
all the time.
And I think that's leading me to our like podcast topic today is that we're going into Luke, right? Yeah. And we're going into Luke 10.
Mm-hmm. The physician.
Yeah. Get you right. Make sure you got your probiotics. And make sure you got all your herbs. Yeah. Doing a little thing.
Yeah.
And we're in Luke 10. We're in 38 through 42.
Okay.
And when I read this, it really put a lot of things in perspective in my natural life. Because, again, you read these things and you think, this doesn't really touch me. But then you're like, Jesus be all up in my Kool-Aid all the time. Just be like, mind your business. Sometimes, I mean, I just be wanting
to your Lord and Savior to mind His business.
No, I'm just saying, I want my mind to be.
Woe unto you.
It be Him, but it'd be my His Spirit be in me and just be rising up every single time. It'd be like.
See, just like people, they gotta clean it up. Is what they say.
But I'm just saying, sometimes, I just be wanting to not be accountable.
Okay.
And so that's what I be
feeling
like.
I'm telling you, this season is gonna be very transparent.
I just be saying, for real, I just want to just be, just want to do my own thing.
I just want to do my
at
own
least
thing
one day.
Just one day.
But then I'd be like,
and we had some people that did their own thing one day.
See.
And sent into the world.
See? That's what we talked about our last episode. And that's what I'm saying. That doggone it. So I don't want to be like them. So then I'd be asking God to fix my heart because, I can't do heat. I break out in hives. So my daughter's allergic to the cold. I'm allergic to the heat. Yeah. Like every time in the heat, my skin be breaking out. I can't do that.
Man.
And that don't even be like Satan's fire heat.
Nah.
It be just like regular 82 degrees.
Man.
Skin be out here boiling.
Man, come on.
I can't do it.
Yeah.
I can't do it. So we get into the story, right? And it's in the Message Bible because, it be down to earth sometimes.
Yeah.
And
that thee and thou and they. I don't even speak like that. But
yeah. It'd be hard to get through sometimes.
It do.
Thus.
The old English.
Yeah. And then they be saying
wax cold and things that wax
never
cold.
Knew a man. What does that mean?
He went in and known her. Known who?
Have you ever been okay, no.
No, just do that.
We won't do it. Yeah. We won't do it. I'm just making sure we know. I don't know if that was in the King James. That was just saying. We making sure we know.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, back to the message.
Go ahead, please.
Right. So the thing is that Jesus is in the room, and then we got two they sisters or friends, Martha sisters. So Martha and Mary.
Yes.
Right. So I'm just gonna read it because it speaks.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
So we're gonna go in Luke.
Ashley Reed. For all y'all people that go to church, y'all already know they be doing that. Go ahead.
So it says Luke 10. Where we at? 38. So as they continued their travel, Jesus entered a village. A woman by the name of Martha welcomed him and made him feel quite at home.
Come on in.
I like that. Go ahead. You narrate while we do. Okay.
Yeah.
You be the story. Okay. You reenact while I tell the story. Okay. Let me start from the beginning.
All right. Go ahead.
As they continued their travel, you got to walk. Okay. Jesus entered a village. A woman by the name of Martha welcomed him and made him feel quite at home.
Come on in, sugar.
Come on in, sugar. I like that.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Get you some tea.
Yeah.
It's dinner. Eating good. All right. A woman by the name of Martha welcomed him and made him feel quite at home. She had a sister, Mary, who sat before the master, hanging on every word he said.
Wow.
But Martha was pulled away by all she had to do in the kitchen.
Okay.
Because she making dinner.
Cooking the grains.
Yes. Later, she stepped in, interrupting them. Master, don't you care that my sister has abandoned me in the kitchen?
Wow.
Tell her to lend me a hand. The master said, Martha, dear Martha, you're fussing far too much and getting yourself worked up over nothing. One thing only is essential, and Mary has chosen it. It's the main course and won't be taken from her.
Wow.
So, I think this episode for me, it goes into the deep things, and it was a lot of self-reflection, right?
Yeah.
Of what we value in terms of what does the Lord value for us?
Yeah.
Right? So, okay, I guess I'll ask you, how do you define success?
That is a heavy weighted question.
Yeah. So how do you know when you're successful? What's the attributes? Like what are the things that you would say? Things you have, yeah.
The things you do.
Yeah. Yeah.
People you have with you. I mean,
yeah.
If I'm successful, I think my children would be successful.
Right.
Things of that nature.
Right.
My wife be successful. Everything around me is successful.
Yeah.
If I'm successful, because that's how I look at success.
Right.
I don't look at success as an individual thing, not for me.
Okay.
If I say it's successful, then everybody around me is going to be successful.
Yeah.
Especially immediate around me.
Gotcha.
I'm not going to say that. Okay, well, I'm successful, but no, everybody else look like they in poverty.
Right.
Nah, that ain't about to work for me. That ain't success to me.
So I think when I look at how people of the world look at success and how do they define it, I think it always equates to long hours, right? Doing a lot of work, busyness, right? Never ceasing to be from the wall. Like if you understand what I'm saying in terms of in the Bible, we're building the wall. We're busy. We're working. We don't have time to.
Jeremiah on the wall.
Yes, on the wall. And so for me, when I looked at that, I saw myself also valuing success that way, right? Not really understanding that sometimes there is the blessing in the rest.
Yeah.
Right? So when I'm reading this, what I see is what I see in myself is that Martha is doing all of the work. The scripture said that she was pulled away. You know how sometimes in our life we feel like we're pulled away by everything, right? That we really almost have no choice but to be busy.
Yeah.
Right? And then you think about what is this busyness actually, what is it amounting to? What am I really doing all of this for? Is it for my own Like, do I feel like am I filling a void with the busyness, right?
Right.
Do I feel like I'm not enough, so I
Yeah.
have to keep busy, so I have to almost, because at the end of the busy, success looks like success to me at the end of the busy. But what did I lose? Right?
Time.
What did I sacrifice?
A lot.
And so when I was, when I'm saying these things out loud, is that the same thing is that, if we being moments of transparent, it's like, I work a lot. And when I say I work a lot, I work a lot.
Yes, you do.
And so I always have to think to myself, is that what is the value of what I'm putting in terms of what I'm trying to see, or why does it mean so much to me, right? And when I'm reading this scripture and how God is almost telling Martha that what you're doing, the busyness, is not really even what I even desire.
Wow.
It's what Mary is doing right now, sitting in my presence, listening, letting her mind be at ease, getting the nuggets,
Yes.
being in
And
the face of me.
from me.
Yeah.
She's drawing from the master.
That's what's the most important. And this
Yeah.
is what she has chosen.
Yeah.
So then you think about, well, what am I choosing?
Yeah.
Right?
True.
Am I choosing the busy over his presence?
Because some people, if you think about it, sometimes people choose the busy so they don't have to deal with their reality.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'll be busy so I don't have to deal with that I'm lonely. Mm-hmm. I'll be busy so I don't have to deal with that I'm hurting.
Yeah.
I'll be busy so I don't have to deal with that I'm not that good to be around.
Yeah. And that's the spaces where, that it's hard, right? Because I'll tell you, I was looking at I think Will Smith was promoting his movie, and he was on a podcast, and then the guy was like asking like, what makes you happy or something like that. It was something to that realm. And all Will Smith did was quiet for like 10 minutes. And the guy was just sitting there like, okay, like super, like not, it's fidgety.
Right.
And so the mere fact that I looked at that and I was almost too like, it is quiet too long.
Yeah.
Right. So you have to look into yourself and say, like, really, what makes me and what's in me that's not allowing me to quiet.
Yeah, to
right?
rest.
To rest,
Yeah.
right? Because again, that's not a Will Smith thing. That's
No.
a me thing when
Yeah.
I'm uncomfortable in his silence.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
I can't sit in the quiet because I'm so busy. And it's not even that my hands are busy. My mind is busy.
mind is busy.
Like my heart is busy. And he is saying, you are being pulled away
Yeah.
from me
Yeah.
because you're busy. When I'm telling you that the joy, the peace, what you need, what you desire is actually just by sitting with me and letting me talk to you.
It's in the quiet place.
It's in the quiet place.
It's in the place. So where I'm growing. So what you're telling me is that the strength you're going to grow is not in your busy moments.
Yeah.
It's in your quiet moments.
Yeah. Yeah. And for me, I think to me too, that was a sense of maturity for Mary.
Yes.
Because again, if I have the master in the room and I'm still worried about the kitchen, what does that really say about where I am in my life, that I'm not valuing his worth?
Yeah. It's
Right?
how do you prioritize the master?
Yeah.
And
Right.
yeah, because at the same time, if the master's in the room,
Yeah.
the king is in the room,
The king is in the room, but I'm on my phone.
but I'm on my phone
And we see this in church today.
all day long.
Right? So the king is in the room.
Yeah.
He wants to give you something that you never had.
And he gave you a
before.
front row seat.
But I'm too busy. I got to make sure the cameras are right. I'm on my phone. I'm
worrying
sleep.
about what I'm cooking tonight.
Yes.
I'm worrying about the kids got their homework.
Yep.
I'm worrying about, we got to get those clothes out the
Yep.
washing machine.
Yep.
No, be in the moment.
And we've missed.
Because freedom is in the rest of the moment.
And what's important about that though is that he made a point, like we said in the beginning. He made a point to realize that rest is important.
Yes, it
right?
is.
And so
He rested.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. He made a point to tell us that rest is important because when not just your body is not moving, but when your mind is also quiet, then you wonder, because we always say these things like, I can't hear God. Or like I know people who've left God because they said they couldn't hear him.
Yeah.
Right. And it could be too that we work so hard to hear, right? Instead of just being, right? So I'm in the kitchen.
Yeah.
I'm too busy in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And the master's in the room.
He's in the room.
Right? And at this point, I'm in a totally different room than him. And it says that she interrupted them.
Him pouring into another person.
To say, she needs to help me in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And he's like, you fussing about the wrong thing,
The wrong
sis.
thing. You worried about the wrong thing.
Yes.
You mad about the wrong
The
thing.
wrong thing. And what is that in our own lives is that we are so worked up about things that are in our lives to where we need to be asking the questions, what is the real thing that I'm actually concerned about? What is really the driver here?
Or were you mad not because she wasn't helping? Were you really mad because you didn't know how to rest like her?
That's what I'm saying. Sometimes we're upset at the wrong thing because, again, she wasn't mad because Mary didn't help her in the kitchen. She's mad because Mary made the choice to sit.
And because you also, and I know she got even madder when Jesus said to her,
Yep.
you worried about the wrong stuff.
Right. You the one that's in the wrong.
To be honest
here.
with you, you need to be taking the posture that she's taking.
Yes.
Come and sit and listen. Take
Yep.
a rest from what you're doing. That's going to always be there.
Always be there.
And that's another thing what people don't understand about your job.
Yep.
It's going to always be there.
So I'll be transparent. My husband tells me this all the time because I work a lot.
Yeah.
So he was like, I'm your husband and I try to stay out your business. In that sense, he's making a joke. But he's saying that, essentially, you're not getting any overtime for this. Your hours, that work that you're doing right now is going to be the same work that's going to be there tomorrow. If I don't have you, right, essentially, they're going to replace you.
Yeah.
So is your life worth missing the moments that's going to define you, right?
Yeah.
Because again, the moments that define me, that when we talk about success, is when I can have a conversation with my daughter that God has given me to pour into her. And she takes those things and those principles and we learn together. She takes those to school and comes back and now has raised her grades, right? Because she has said, Mommy has had a chance to sit with me.
Yeah.
Pour into me.
Yeah.
Talk to me about things, right? Things that she's dealing with in her life that maybe will come, right? Like we all have had.
Yeah.
To say, hey, Mommy, and she's willing to tell me and not hide it because she knows that Mommy's going to be able to give an ear to her and not just be like, I'm in a meeting.
Right.
Like I don't have time for this. And then she goes and because she knows that I'm busy, tells that to her dad, right? Because she's like, well, at least he'll listen.
Right.
Or tells it to her friends.
Right.
And then I'm out of the loop. And then something happens and I'm like, well, how did you not know? So, we see these stories on TV all the time and we ask, well, how did the parents not know? How did the mothers not know? And we be the main ones be like, how did they not know? And then you look up at your life and you're like, I see how they didn't know.
Yeah.
Like, I see how
Our mother
they didn't
says
know.
that all the time.
Yeah.
Don't be so busy to where you miss moments.
Yeah.
I was like this, what? Because I've always seen our parents work.
Exactly.
But mom was always attentive.
Yes.
Dad was attentive too.
Yeah.
But he wasn't as attentive as she was.
Yeah. Yeah.
She will always be attentive to even the clothes you wore.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Remember,
Yep.
we had a brother.
Yep.
Story time, y'all. Story time.
Yep.
Yeah. He wore somebody else's coat.
Yep.
He thought my mother didn't know.
Right.
But because she was so much, she had so much attention to her children.
Yeah.
She knew she didn't buy that for him.
Oh, yes.
And it made her mad because he lied and tried to trick her to say, because she thought she was so busy that she would miss that detail of his life. She was like, I ain't missed that. That ain't what I bought you.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
And since I didn't buy it and you don't have money to get it, where you get it from?
Yep.
Because you don't just get nothing for nothing.
Yeah.
And that's her looking at it was, you don't just get nothing for nothing.
Yeah.
Tell me where you got it from. Because if I keep letting those little things slip,
it's going to fester.
It's going to fester into something else.
Yeah.
To where it's going to be out of my control.
Yeah.
So you got to live in the moments. Like me and my boy, we was talking one day. We was at work. And I was telling him, I said, man, the currency, we get money for our currency of time. We exchange our job, our time for their money.
Yep.
We need their money, but they also need our time.
Right.
So, but the thing is, you can always get money, but you will never get time back.
Right. Right.
So they take away 40 years
Yes.
of your time for 40 years of your pay. But I can change the way I get money. I can't change the way I get time.
Yeah. And I think to that point, that was Jesus' process. Because the thing is, the work, like he said, the poor you will always have.
He said, but you won't,
won't
always have me. In a
And
tangible sense.
So
yes.
the moments that we get him, which are rare, right? Because in this time, he wasn't going every place.
No.
So what he's saying is that, Martha, I'm in your presence and you won't have me long, but you still are prioritizing work above my presence.
Because you didn't value the presence. Because when you used to seeing a person.
Yeah.
We do that with our parents.
Absolutely.
We do that with our kids.
Friends, yeah.
We do that with our friends.
Yeah.
We do that with our siblings and our children.
Yeah.
We're so used to seeing them that we miss precious moments.
Yeah.
Because we think we have another one until you don't have that moment anymore.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, she reflected about the time in the house when he was on the cross. The time I had you is the time I did not spend with you.
Yeah. Because especially.
So now I reflect
Yeah.
when you in the time I'm losing you
Yeah.
on the times I had you.
Yeah.
And people do that in relationships.
Oh, yeah. All the
When
time.
they feeling they was in a bad, they're like, gosh, I had something good.
Yeah.
But I didn't value it because I always saw it.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about Jesus. What he was saying was, she's holding on to every word I'm talking.
Yeah. So the thing is, what's so important about that is that he said what she chose is most important because, again, like you said, Jesus knew he wasn't going to be here always.
No.
And then what do we have right now that's reflective right now is what we have that she had then was his word.
Yeah.
Right? So that's the only thing that we have of him other than his spirit, right?
Yeah.
We don't have his physical body
No.
anymore, just like they didn't. But what she said that was valuable, what he said that was valuable is that what he says to us even to this day is that you're going to have my words when I'm not here.
Yeah.
So it's important.
And for
that you
everybody that
value-
lost somebody.
Yeah.
And for all of them that lost somebody out here in the land.
Yeah.
All you have now is the person's words
Yeah.
and their memories of what you know of them when you was in the moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
And some people grieve those times because they really didn't value it in the moment that they were here.
But that's why it's important too, because I know some people sometimes get worried, as they start to grow, that the memories start to fade, right?
Yeah.
Because the longer someone is gone,
Yeah.
sometimes it's harder to remember.
Yeah, everything.
Right.
Yeah, it's not as fresh.
Which is why going back to the scripture, why Jesus wants to emphasize the importance of the moments.
Of the moments.
Right? We won't always have these moments. And even when we have them, we won't always remember them.
Wow.
And so how do you value the time when you have the person with you?
Yeah.
Are you still going to be valuing the work? Right? Because again, God also says, like, listen, I don't care about your works.
No.
The
Pharisees, that's what they wanted.
Yeah.
They wanted God to be pleased in the work. But he said, I want you to be pleased in the time you spend with me.
Yeah. Because it's always going to be about your heart for me.
Yeah.
So I appreciate what you do for me.
Yeah.
It's like it's not like that it goes unappreciated.
Right.
Unappreciative. Or appreciated.
Right.
But what will change you is my presence.
My presence.
What will
What I
uplift
say to you. Yeah.
is my presence.
Yeah.
What's more valued
Yeah.
is my presence. Because the thing is, guess what? When I come back, that's all you'll have is my presence.
Yeah.
When you come to people want to say, I'm ready to go to heaven. But here on earth, you don't even pray.
Yeah. You know you know what I loved about my dad was I seen that he was a worker. I seen that he would go to work in 3 feet of snow.
Yes.
I saw that. I've only seen that literally.
Yeah.
But you know what I valued the most?
What?
Is when he came to my football games with a suit on.
Yes. Yes. Tired. Yep.
When I used to when I used to look on the sideline
Yeah.
and see him standing there.
Yeah.
Because I knew he valued his moment with his son.
Yes.
More than
His
his
job.
job. Even if I got off at 6:30,
Yeah.
I'm going to make it to that practice by 7.
Yes.
And
Yes.
if I just got to stand there and watch you.
Yep.
And it was times where he'd be like, you can do this.
Yeah.
You got this.
Yep.
It put another fire in me
Yes.
to do even better because I see my Father watching me.
Yeah. And that's what he's saying here is that I'm giving you strength for the journey.
Yeah.
Right? The moments give you strength for the journey.
Yes, it does.
So that's another thing that even if we, if we're not listening to this story, period, but we're saying that, moments with your friends, moments with your mom, moments with people who will eventually fade away.
Yes.
Right? Those moments give you strength for the journey ahead.
Yeah.
Because when you're missing them,
Yeah.
right? When you can't find them, when you want to pick up the phone and call them, what you'll go back to is that game in the suit.
The game in
right?
the suit.
It'll be, him knowing that he's rushing to get to me.
Rushing to get to me just to see
just
me.
Just to support me.
Not to play, but to practice.
Yeah. Yeah.
He would come to your practice and sit there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And even a person like my mother, she didn't like football.
Right.
But she would come to the game.
Uh-huh.
Even if she had her
She'll
head
make
turned.
sure all your breakfast was made
She'll
before
make sure
you
the
went.
breakfast had, look, cream of wheat in the cup.
Oh, yeah. We've been doing cream of wheat for years. We've been helping.
She would get you there.
Listen,
even if she did not always understand where you were going.
We still do cream of wheat to this day. Day.
And the thing is, that's what I'm loving about Jesus was about this story was he was trying to tell you how to prioritize.
Yeah.
Everything is not busy.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about America.
Yeah.
We're so busy doing nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. I got to make content. I got to make this. I got to do this. And that's where the
I got to go viral. I got to be this. I got to be this. I got to be that.
I did it one time. I got to do it again. I got to do it again. I got to do it again.
But you did all this viral stuff, but you don't have no friends.
Yeah.
You think you do. Mm-hmm. But you don't.
They just business partners now.
They're business partners. They're associates.
Yeah.
How many people really only got associates and no real friends?
Yeah.
Because you never made time for them.
Yep. And you never showed yourself
friendly.
And you never
showed yourself friendly because you're too busy.
Like the scripture said, the word that I see all the time is that stuck out to me was pulled away.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, because it happens where sometimes you don't even know, or it's so quick.
Yeah.
Right? That it's gravitating. It's a pull of your time.
And you know what makes people grieve, though, the most? Is when they reflect back on the time they could have, but didn't.
Yeah.
That was what hurts the most. Mm-hmm. When a person know they did you good, they will grieve.
Yep.
But it won't hurt.
It's a different type of grief. Yeah.
It's a grief that I miss you.
Yeah.
Not that I'm hurt by the memory of you.
Yeah.
Because some people are hurt by I just wish I could have did more. Mm-hmm. She could have just stopped cleaning.
Yes.
And came and sat.
Right. Right.
All you had to do was stop cleaning.
Yeah.
And a lot of people keep trying to clean up everything.
Yeah. Instead
of just sitting in the moment.
Yeah.
And maybe they would be a lot better.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think too, a lot of, if I look at it like, from my life too. So, when people come over my house, I like a clean house, like no doubt. But I know I got 3 kids and my house ain't always clean. Yeah. But I know like when I have people coming over, me and my husband are different in that way.
Yeah.
He's almost of the nature like, Ashley, we got kids.
Right.
Let it be.
Right.
I'm sitting there like, no, clean everything now.
Right.
And I'm causing the house is in angst. The kids like, we got 10 minutes. Like, I'm like, do it now. Like, and like, again, some things you don't really know where, some things where the driving force is, but some things you really don't. And I see, like, even for me, like as we're talking about, the spirit of just transparency is that my parents have always worked. I've always been one to want to do, and I would say please, right? I don't want to let people down, right? And so for me, I never knew how heavy the weight of that was.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
To be like, and then to a point where you don't even know you're doing it.
Yeah.
Right? So and I'm laughing because I hear my husband's in my head right now saying, I'm not doing it. Or like, I'm busy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we're not busy though. Like he's like, Ashley, I'm busy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? I know your schedule. Busy doing what? But I know for me and him, we're different in that way. Like, I have to prioritize my rest. You don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
But I know how to do that. So don't get mad at the choice that I make when I want to sit with the master and you want to be in the kitchen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I'm happy and I'm glad of Mary's choice.
Yeah.
Because she didn't let her sister's way sway her from moving out of position with the master.
Yeah.
Sometimes we let people's anger
Yes.
and anxiousness
Yes.
moves us out of the position that we're supposed to be, where we're getting flourished at
Yeah.
and nurtured at.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's best that I don't say nothing
Yeah.
and just sit
Yeah.
and let you just talk.
Yeah.
Be-
But if I can be honest, I think for me, it's hard to do this because I think I don't know how to.
Yes.
Right. And I mean, and
Yes.
that's just the truth. Is
Yes.
that I don't think I've and I don't. I mean, of course, when we talk about rest, like I don't think I went to sleep. I'm not talking about sleep.
No.
I'm talking about I don't think I've probably ever, if I'm thinking about my life, like in this lifetime now, I've ever rested. I mean, we've been on vacations, right?
Yeah.
But even in vacations, I'm sitting there like, okay,
This.
so next, all right, so
Yeah.
and then tomorrow we're gonna do this, and I got a
You
plan.
got
All right, let's
people-
do this.
You got people, and this is where I tell people, and my wife had got on me with that. She said, stop prioritizing fun. and putting it in
Right.
in a schedule.
Right,
So,
right.
man, I'm telling you, the best time I ever had. I had just got married. We was on our honeymoon. The best part of our honeymoon was we sat out on a hammock and went to sleep. And I was outside literally for 3 hours, knocked out. I was like,
Yeah.
whoa. Because that was the first time
Yeah.
that I did not prioritize what I was doing next.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
lived in the moment.
Yeah.
And that was what we was just like, whew, man, we needed that.
Yeah.
And God is trying to say is that y'all doing all that work
Yeah.
and it ain't benefiting you or me.
Exactly.
Y'all doing all this to try to please me.
Yes.
When I'm telling you the rest pleases me.
Yes. Being in my presence, the quiet
Resting
moments.
in knowing that I know what's best for you
Yeah.
pleases me.
Yeah.
And holding on to my every word. I'll never
Resting
leave
in my
you,
word. Mm-hmm.
nor will I forsake
Yeah.
you.
Giving attention to me. Yeah.
Giving
In a way-
attention
yeah,
to my
and-
word. You know
yeah.
what it is to be in a conversation with somebody and they not listening to you?
I know.
That's insulting.
I've done that.
Yes, you literally are here. I'm going to tell you one story that I have. No lie. And this happened to me. Aaron Spears. God rest his soul, man.
Yes.
He was talking to me one day. One of the greatest drummers in our area.
Uh-huh.
And I was too busy looking around. He said, man, you listening?
Oh.
Not to throw shade.
Yeah.
But what he was dropping to me was gems and I didn't even know it.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
This man was giving me gems
Yes.
of just how to do things.
Yeah.
And how to handle yourself. And I couldn't hear him because I was looking at everything else around me.
Yeah.
And also I was engulfed in just he was speaking to me.
And I think that comes with a level of maturity.
Yeah, I
because
wasn't mature
to
enough for the conversation.
Yeah, well, not just for the conversation, but just to know when the busy has to stop.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And again, I don't. That's not to say that we're not mature, because again, I've just confessed that I don't even know how to do this really just yet. But I think it's also too is that these are the things that I will bring to God and say, hey, help me to do this.
Yeah.
Because the way I'm created, and I'm not gonna say you created me like this,
Right.
but I'm just saying, because again, a lot of things we say God did, ain't got nothing to do with it. You did it yourself. But I think, help me to realize
Yeah.
that it's not in the busy,
Yeah.
right? That there is something different and more you have for me if I learn how, like I said, not just to quiet the movements of my body, but even my mind.
Yeah.
When it's too quiet and I'm feeling uneased, like, why is it so quiet?
The lady said that
we need to be doing something.
It was a song the lady said on it was a reel that I listened to, and it was "Open the Eyes of My Heart, Lord."
Yeah.
But then she changed the lyrics.
Yeah.
She said, "Quiet the noise in my mind, Lord,"
Mm-hmm.
because that's another reason why
'Cause that's
people
how
are
I'll
not.
see you.
He's
Yeah.
you're not seeing God
Yeah.
because the noise in your mind is not quiet.
Right.
You're not hearing him because
Yeah.
everything else is speaking to you.
Yeah.
And you're in all these places and you only can focus on one thing.
Yeah. And the thing is that too, because we're being pulled,
Yeah.
right? It takes up our time. So how I want to say this is that, God, we think that we're hoping that you speak kind of just like this. We're hoping that you're already in the house and we can hear your voice audibly. And, okay, I'm pulled from the kitchen. But we're in a different way now where it's going to take time.
Yes.
You're not going to just, because people always, they just negate that God speaks because he didn't speak in the way that they wanted him to speak.
Exactly.
In the timing that they wanted him to speak. But he's just saying, you're so busy. You give the world 8 to 12, 13 hours a day.
You give social media.
Right. You give social media 4 hours. If you look at our screen times now, 16 hours. But yet you want me to speak in 30 minutes because you came to me now and decided to read your Bible today. And now because I didn't speak,
or
now
because
you have nothing.
You need me now.
Right. Or, I mean, it could be because you need me too, or not need me because you have just put a block that says God doesn't speak to me.
Yeah.
Because again, thinking about the atmospheres that you have allowed him to speak in, though, right? Yeah. I'm so busy with my this and with my that and what I'm passionate about, and I got to get this done and I got to do this. But then, all right, it's at 10 o'clock. I want to make sure that, on my Bible app, I make sure I hit my day.
Yeah.
And let me just read my one scripture. Make sure I'm going against, like, making sure that I do give him some time because I'm a Christian, opposed to him giving his time to him. Because again, it's like, okay, but you've given 14 to 15 hours. And I'm saying this out loud because it's me, oh Lord. Yeah. It's me. Is that you can give time to these things, but then want him to move in a way for you, but only give him this much time.
That much time.
Right?
Yeah.
And not saying that he's not still a God of grace and truth, that even in the small time that you give him, he doesn't move, because he's definitely moved in my heart, even when I've given him what I had left. Yeah. Right? Mm-hmm. And when I'm saying out of the day, I've let everybody talk to me. I done handled everybody's problems. I done handled the kids. I done talked to my man. I done been in the kitchen. And then I'm saying, okay, Lord, well, here's your 30 minutes. And even in the 30 minutes, he still allows, he's so gracious that he allows what I read. This was in a 30 minutes. Like, I was like, it was me. Oh, okay. So you allowed me.
And remember,
to be
he will
rebuked.
show you before he show you anybody else.
Yep.
He got to show you first.
Yeah.
Because it wouldn't be like God fashion to show you, not to show you first.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about him. And I love about this is that he is telling us, when you have me, be attentive and focus on me.
Yeah.
Don't worry about everything that's going around.
Yeah.
Because everything that's going around means nothing.
Yeah.
When I am here. And
we always want to hear his voice. Like a lot of people's goals are, I'm not hearing from him.
Yeah.
I don't know where he is. Why, if this is such a great God, a big God, why does he neglect us in this way? Why does it feel like I'm doing what I feel like your word says, but I don't feel like you're doing what your word says, right? Where are you? How long is it going to be? But then if we are really like reading our scriptures, we realize that God had a long period of time where he didn't speak at all. He was just speaking to like his pastors or his leaders or this and that, because every moment that God speaks is precious.
Precious.
Right?
Man.
So when he has something
and
to
every
say,
word he says is precious.
So if he's giving us the word of God and everything is that it is him, how do we not equate that to his voice? Right? We keep forgetting that his voice is in his word.
Yes.
And so we say these things that God doesn't speak to me because we don't hear him in our ears as a man's voice.
Right.
But he's saying, I've already spoke. The word is what I'm asking you to hide in your heart so you don't sin against me.
Yeah.
Right? And these are the things that I've given you as gems that you know that from this is my word. And then you will get moments that you actually, whenever he decides, because again, I people always say, well, if the atmosphere is right and all that, atmospheres ain't even got to be right. God to be speaking and be like, listen, your atmosphere is jacked up. You in the wrong space. He'll be like, get up out of there.
Yeah.
That don't mean that the atmosphere is right.
Exactly.
We got to be in worship. We got to be in prayer.
Nah.
God don't need all that to be, because he's done it to me and it wasn't no worship going on. He was like, slow your roll. Shut your mouth. Keep quiet. Don't be fooling around.
Yeah.
So, it's those things is that, we're very mindful of hearing him. And I'll share the story is that I can remember the times that, because some people say they hear God all the time. And I'd be like, okay. Because again, not my story, but if it's your story, absolutely. But I can remember a time when I actually heard him like a man talking to me.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yes.
And I was at work.
Wow.
Like, I went to the bathroom and I was pregnant. You know, it's always a different glory when you're pregnant. I don't know what it is. Get the sister Bashonda. She got a different glory when she I want to hear I am God. So, I don't know. Let's throw that in there. And so I was in the bathroom and I was carrying my son. And at the time I was going through a list of names because I mean, you know, being busy, I'm like, okay, I want his name to be, I don't know if his name. And so I wasn't sure, but I knew for all of my children, I wanted their names to mean something of the word. So either be something in the Bible or have something meaning, because there's meaning in names.
Yes.
I don't play them games. You can't call, I ain't gonna go there.
Yeah.
But there's meaning in names.
Yeah.
And so I was contemplating of what I wanted to call him. And none of these, like, the list that I had was just, you know, it was a list. I was in the bathroom and I heard it as clear as day. And it says Matthias. And I said, I'm looking around.
Right.
Like, who just said this? Because I've never heard this name.
No.
Even though I've read the Bible multiple times, I never knew who this person was.
You never put emphasis on that. Yeah.
Right. Because we all 12 disciples. That's it. Let's move it on. I went instantly to Google and looked him up, and he was the 13th disciple.
Yes, he was.
And I was like, I literally cried because I was like, God, like, this is something that I've prayed for, but I mean, I don't know. I didn't know that you heard the prayers of how would I name my child? You know, he was so gracious that he took the small things. You know what I mean? Like, these are the things that why he's so amazing is that when you think he's not listening to your small prayers,
but he's listening.
He answered the name of my son.
Yes.
You got other things to do, but you thought about me and said, listen, you gonna call him this.
Right.
From that day when I came home and I said, Chance, our son name is going to be, it was like a Sarah moment. His name is going to be Matthias. Yeah. And he was like, all right. I say, literally, I was at work in the bathroom and God told me Matthias. And that's what his name has been ever since.
Wow.
And I say this to his glory, that the devil be trying my son.
Yeah.
But I know that I know, because the thing is, I already know what God has told me about my son.
Wow.
And if God gave him the name, then he has to fulfill it.
Yeah.
Right? So again, I'm trying, y'all, everybody, we praying that Ashley don't stay too busy in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And make sure that she's out here in the presence.
In the presence.
Right? As much as I love Jesus, make sure that I'm not too busy, and make sure you're not too busy in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Make sure that you're in his presence, because there is where you'll find life.
Yeah.
There is where you'll find joy.
Yes.
There's where you'll find peace. And every word he has spoken is going to come to pass in your life. So, I mean, that's the part today.
Don't be too busy.
Don't be too busy in the kitchen. Get on out of there.
Yeah.
Get on out of there with Freddie Jane, cooking dinner.
Well, man, I tell you, this was a great pod today. Don't be too busy, y'all. This is a great episode.
Yeah.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to all of our channels. We're on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok. Man, we on Apple Podcasts. We're on iHeartRadio. We're on Amazon Music. We're everywhere. Everywhere. Don't forget. Don't be too busy.
Don't be too busy.
And we'll see y'all next time.
Bye.
Preserved by my Redeemer, the Messiah, and the leader. Belly full of living water, just in case you need a leader. Reflecting the overseer, protected, cause Lord, I need you. Can't let a day go by without giving the word a try. But what if I fall short and I'm in need of a friend to pick me up and help me start believing again? Continue fleeing from sin. Man, we just fishing for men who throwing salt. The perfect seasoning for the season. You win. You win.
Ain't got time to play around. Put some salt up on the ground. Throwing salt, throwing salt, throwing salt, throwing salt, throwing salt, throwing salt.